Just give Netflix a hand. They keep pumping out good stuff. Nobody else. All right. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. As promised, I just binged the entire season, the first season of Narcos Mexico, the somewhat soft reboot, a spin-off, if you will, of the first edition of Narcos, a show that was really, really well done, and it didn't necessarily warrant a spin-off series, but I was excited to get one. I loved the marketing material, the trailers, and the talent involved. It is perfection. Could they capitalize on it? I already spoiled it with my intro. So if you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. I have watched 4 movies today, 1 episode of Titans, and an entire series. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning just to do all of those things. All of those reviews at this point either are on my channel or will be on my channel. I will try to pump those out as quickly as possible. Thank you guys for sticking with me. It's a lot of content to cover. I'm trying to do it and process what I watch, so it may be a little slower than I intended originally, but I'm going to try to push it out. Let's get right into this review and start talking about Narcos Mexico. So witness the rise of the brand new cartel in the 1980s as Diego Luna's character takes the helm, unifying traffickers in order to build an empire. When a DEA agent, played by Michael Pena, moves his wife and young son from California to that area to take on a new post, he quickly learns that his assignment will be more challenging than he ever could have imagined. As the character of Kiki garners intelligence on Felix and becomes more entangled in his mission, a tragic chain of events unfold, affecting the drug trade and the war against it for years to come. One of the things I love most about Narcos is that it really just kind of focuses on the true aspects, but doesn't give you the entire story. It gives you these fake characters with fake names, but you know somewhere in there, these are events that actually happened, or at least it's based on something that happened, and that's scary enough. This is a very sore subject for some people, and I can understand. I know multiple people who are like, Narcos, it's a little too close to, it's a sore subject, and I get that, but I think it's something that needs to be explored on screen, and what better way than 10 episodes of television, getting to dive deep into characters, and see where people are coming from, and see what is wrong with the world today. And I really did think this thing nailed all of those aspects. I mean, let's start with the cast. Diego Luna and Michael Pena. You cannot get better than that. Don't tell me that there is a better cast out there. Well, there might be. But Diego Luna and Michael Pena, 2 of the best in the business. You're talking about Latino actors. And another thing I love about this, they are not whitewashing. They're not casting people that shouldn't be cast in roles. And I know we don't really have that issue on television. It's more so in movies. But you're casting the right people. And I think Michael Pena, this may be his best role ever. Now, he is great in Ant-Man. He is great in all of the films that he pops up in, but I've never seen him on this level of balancing, like, not comedic, but every now and then having kind of a sense of humor with a super serious character, because his character is not what you expect from Michael Pena. It is a very serious role, and he plays it to a T. He is awesome. You can tell his love for his family is there. There's one episode where something happens with his family. I'm not going to say exactly what, but man, he is pissed, and you can tell he is pissed, and I loved it. And then Diego Luna, you guys probably know him from Star Wars fame. He's been in multiple things, and he just got cast in a brand new Star Wars series as the same character, so that's pretty cool. But he is in Narcos, and oh my goodness, this guy is the crime boss of crime bosses. He starts out, and I didn't really know where his character was going. I did read the description, but I didn't know it was going to be on that level, but he really goes his character arc from one character to a completely different character by the end of the series, and it's very interesting to watch. He becomes hardened. He becomes the crime boss that you expect him to be, and I really like that. You know Diego Luna is going to bring it, and he brought it. Now, this series kind of shifts focus from Colombia, as we saw in the first few seasons, to Mexico. It's an entirely different ball game, takes place in the 1980s. One thing I love about this season in particular is it gets the time period right. It feels like the 80s. And the look, I don't have to talk about the look because you guys have probably, if you're watching this, you've probably seen Narcos before. You know the look, the technical aspects, the sound, the feel of it, the cinematography, all of that stuff has always been good. And it's great once again here. The cinematography is some of the best I have seen on Netflix all year in a television show, and it just keeps getting better with every episode. And there are so many moments in this season where you think something is about to happen, whether it's a character is about to get killed or somebody is about to make a tragic decision that they maybe shouldn't have made. They always do a little twist on that. Maybe that thing happens, but it happens in a different way. Maybe the twist is there, but it's not what you expect. They keep you on your toes, and with so much dialogue, so much talking. I know this show may bore a lot of people, and I understand that. But for me, I love some good dialogue. I love a good script. This thing, the script in this show is just so down to earth and realistic and good. So well done, guys. I think if you're into these, as some would say, overly long dramas on a television series, you will really like what this show delivers. I feel like Luna's character is a very different Kingpin than what we've seen before in the other series. He seems ill-suited for this role, and what I mean, he starts out, like I said, as a completely different character, but the more he grows, the more he just seems like, not that he doesn't want to be there, but he doesn't belong in that role. I can't remember which episode it is, but there is one episode where he really turns into what he is by the end of the series, and when that happens, I was just like, yep, I buy it, I completely get that. So I believe it was episode 2 or 3 where Diego Luna and Michael Pena's character, they come to a head, not physically, but their stories begin to converge. I love that moment, and I love the beginning of the next episode when people are busting into the house and kidnapping somebody, but my goodness, they don't get a lot of screen time together, but when they butt heads, Pena and Luna, when they go head to head, because you really have good and evil, one side versus the other side, and really, you learn so much about the evil side that even though you are rooting for Pena, you're still like, well, I know so much about Diego Luna's character and what he's been dealing with. It's like what makes a villain a good villain is you understand his backstory. And I'm not saying I root for Luna in this show, but you understand where he's coming from. And Pena's character is all about doing the right thing. Whatever is best, we do it. Whether that puts him in bad situations with henchmen and bosses. He butts heads with so many people in this show because he's all about doing what is necessary. And when he first gets there and first joins that force, he is very adamant about doing what he thinks he needs to set out to do. And he even does some things without asking. And I love that one episode. And yes, I'm talking about the episode where he gets on that bus. That was a great episode. The exploration and that scene, the take where the camera is following him and he's just walking into whatever he is getting himself into. He doesn't know at that point, but that was some great camera work and a great episode. I would say Pena is very nuanced and Diego Luna is haunting. Those are the words I would use because when Luna is on screen giving some of his monologues, I couldn't believe the range that he showed from the beginning to the end of his character arc. I thought that was fantastic. I just love Michael Pena and love Diego Luna. I know I keep talking about them, but my goodness. And guys, I haven't even talked about the side characters from Isabella to Ed to Tony, and those are just the ones off the top of my head. They're all really good. There's not a bad actor in the bunch, and their storylines, they always get tied off, not in a nice little bow, but they are explored. When someone is on screen, they have a reason to be on screen, and that's sometimes I have an issue, especially with certain Netflix shows. I'm not going to say which ones, but characters just come on screen, they do their thing, and they don't matter in the long run. This show continuously focuses on the plot, pushes it forward, it gets to where it needs to go, even though it might take a little too long every now and then, but it's still super well done. And the show started out with a bang, but how did it end? It ended exactly how you expect it to end after watching the first few episodes. The first few episodes, if you are on board, then I think you will be very satisfied with the ending. If you are not on board, and if you are bored, then I don't think you need to stick around. I think you need to drop off the series. But for those who really like the first few episodes of Narcos Mexico, stay on it, watch it all the way until the end. You will not be disappointed, especially with the last 2 episodes. In terms of negatives, I really don't have that many. I do think it's a little long, a little drawn out in certain scenes, certain episodes. They just go on a lot of dialogue. I love the writing in the show. Maybe it's where I binged it all in one day. That definitely could take a toll on me, and I've watched 3-4 other movies today, but I will say it did feel long at times, maybe even a little longer than the first season of the first edition of Narcos. And most characters do serve their purpose, but some of them I did find a little bit overwhelming, just too much of one character. Back off of that character, focus more on the characters that we care about. Just 1 or 2 times that I can think of. Once again, nitpicky. It's not the most exciting thing I've seen on Netflix. It's not the one with the best moments I've seen all year, but this is a show that I think is necessary. It's important. It's based on true events. It is filmed with the style that at times even feels like a documentary, like we are following real people around. If you can make a show like this feel this real, when they did it with the first Narcos and they did once again with Narcos Mexico, that is impressive. And that is why I am going to give Narcos Mexico an 84%. Another great series on Netflix, guys. Please go watch this if you're a Narcos fan, if you're a fan of crime and the drug war and a movie like Sicario. I think you're really going to dig this. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is your space to talk about this show. Go down in the comments. What did you like? What did you not like? Leave me a thumbs up if you like these series reviews. There's another series coming out next weekend, I believe so, and I will review that if you guys want it. If you don't want it, I won't do it anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching all of my videos. If you like what you see here, I do have a Patreon page and I'm doing extra stuff on there. I'm talking spoiler reviews and extra movie reviews and some special Netflix videos. Thank you guys for following me on there and on here. You are the absolute best, and I'll catch you later.